The words hit me like broken glass. I stood frozen in the hallway, mop in hand, barely breathing. Through the cracked bedroom door, I heard him. The most dangerous man in Seoul. Begging. Just one more round, Mi Young. Please. Just let me touch you one more time. His voice cracked. Raw. Desperate. Like something was dying inside him. Then she laughed. Cold as winter rain. My chest tightened. I shouldn't be here. Shouldn't be listening to this man's pain. But my feet wouldn't move. And when his eyes found mine through that narrow opening, everything inside me shifted. I didn't know it then, but that moment would change everything. Welcome to Afro-Soul Legends, besties. If you love stories about unexpected love and second chances, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss what happens next. My name is Kendra Hayes, and for 3 months I'd been invisible. That's how I liked it. The Beck estate had 12 staff members, but I kept my head down and my mouth shut. Invisible meant safe. Invisible meant I could send money back to Atlanta for my mama's cancer treatments, without anyone asking questions about the young black woman scrubbing their fancy toilets. Every evening after the family went to bed, I moved through those marble hallways like a ghost. My braids pulled tight, my uniform pressed perfect. Mrs. Beck, whose real name was Park Mi-young, ran this house like a military operation. The other maids whispered that she'd married him for power, not love. That she treated him like a weapon instead of a husband. I didn't care about their drama. I had my own problems. A sick mother 6,000 miles away. Bills piling up. A work visa that could expire if I stepped wrong. Until that night. I was mopping the second-floor hallway. 9:30. The house had settled into that expensive kind of quiet, where you could hear your own heartbeat. I had maybe an hour of work left before I could disappear to my basement room. That's when I heard him. Please, Mi-young. His voice was rough, broken. Just one more night. Just let me hold you. I stopped. My hands gripped the mop handle so tight my knuckles hurt. The master bedroom door stood open just a crack. Golden light spilled across the imported rugs. I knew I should keep moving. Mrs. Beck would fire me, or worse, if she caught me listening. But something in that man's voice made my heart squeeze. You're pathetic. Her response dripped poison. Begging like some dog. I have a headache, Sung-ho. Go sleep in your office. I'm your husband. You're a weapon my father bought. Don't confuse what we have with romance. The silence that followed felt like it could crack the world open. I needed to run. Needed to pretend I'd heard nothing. Just one more time, he said again, quieter now. Please. Get out. Footsteps. Coming toward the door. My heart slammed against my ribs. I grabbed the mop bucket and spun away, but I was too slow. The door flew open. Light flooded the hallway. And there he stood. I'd seen him before. Always from a distance. The newspapers called him the Devil of Seoul. Baek Sung-ho. The Korean kingpin who'd built an empire on fear and blood. 38 years old. Untouchable. Deadly. But they never mentioned how beautiful he was. Or how completely broken. His black hair fell messy across his forehead. His white shirt hung open at the collar, showing golden skin, and the edge of a tattoo. And his eyes. God, his eyes. Eyes that had watched people die. Eyes that made grown men beg for mercy. Right now they looked lost. Desperate. Raw. Those eyes locked on mine. Time stopped. The mop handle slipped from my fingers and clattered against the marble. You. His voice wrapped around me like smoke. How long have you been standing there? I just got here, sir. I'm sorry. I didn't hear anything. I swear. He took a step forward. I took a step back. Something changed in his face. Not anger. Something worse. Something that made my pulse skip and my skin flush hot even though every logical part of my brain screamed at me to run. Recognition. Hunger. Devastation. What's your name? Kendra. Kendra Hayes. Sir. Kendra. He said it slow, like he was tasting it. Like it meant something. His gaze traveled over my face. My lips. My cheekbones. The single braid that had escaped my bun. Something cracked open in those deadly eyes. How long have you worked here? 3 months, sir. 3 months. A bitter laugh escaped him. 3 months and I never even. He didn't finish. Behind him, Mrs. Beck appeared in the doorway. Her silk robe perfect. Her expression ice cold. Are you interrogating the help now? How desperate have you become? Sung-ho's jaw clenched. But he didn't look away from me. Go, he said softly. Before I do something we'll both regret. I ran. My hands shook as I abandoned the cleaning supplies and practically flew down the servants' staircase. My tiny room felt like it was closing in on me. I locked the door and pressed my back against it, gasping. What just happened? The way he'd looked at me. Like I was oxygen and he was drowning. Like I'd torn something open inside him just by existing. This was dangerous. I was nobody. Just a black girl from Atlanta with a dying mother, and a job I couldn't afford to lose. Baek Sung-ho was death wrapped in expensive suits. I needed to forget this. Forget his voice breaking with need. Forget how his eyes had burned into mine. Forget the impossible flutter in my chest when he said my name. My phone buzzed. A text from Mama's nurse. She's asking for you. Treatment is working but we need next month's payment soon. I closed my eyes and took a breath. Right. I had real problems. Real responsibilities. I couldn't get tangled up in my employer's twisted marriage. Couldn't become collateral damage in a world where people like me just disappeared. Morning came too fast. I woke at 5, braided my hair fresh, and reported to the kitchen. Mrs. Song, the head housekeeper, handed out assignments with military precision. Hayes, you'll take the main floor today. Library and dining room. Mr. Beck has breakfast at 7. Be invisible. Yes, ma'am. Invisible. I could do invisible. I gathered my supplies and moved through the mansion like a ghost. The library smelled like leather and old money. Photographs lined the walls. Sung-ho with politicians. With other men in expensive suits. With his cold, beautiful wife. Never smiling. You missed a spot. I spun around so fast I almost dropped my duster. Sung-ho stood in the doorway, dressed in a black suit that probably cost more than everything I owned. His hair was styled now. His expression controlled. The devil of soul had returned. But his eyes still burned. I'm sorry, sir. I'll fix it right away. I didn't mean the shelf. He stepped inside and closed the door. I meant last night. I missed 3 months of seeing you. That's a spot in my awareness I can't forgive myself for. My pulse hammered in my throat. Sir, I should go. Do you know what I do, Kendra? The way he said my name should be illegal. I know you're a businessman, sir. A dark smile touched his lips. I destroy people who lie to me. So let's start with honesty. You know exactly what I am. The staff talks. The newspapers talk. So tell me. Are you afraid of me? I should say yes. Should run screaming. I don't know yet, I whispered. Something blazed in his expression. He crossed the room in 3 long strides, stopping close enough that I could smell his cologne. Cedar and smoke and something dangerously masculine. You heard everything last night. It wasn't a question. I didn't mean to. I know. His voice dropped lower. But you did. You heard me beg my wife for scraps of affection. You heard her remind me that I'm nothing but a weapon she tolerates. He leaned closer. His breath warm against my temple. Tell me, Kendra. Did you pity me? No. Then what did you feel? I met his gaze. Refused to cower despite every instinct screaming danger. Angry. I felt angry that someone could treat you like that. The confession hung between us like electricity. Sungho went very still. Then his hand rose slowly, giving me time to pull away. His fingers brushed my cheek. The touch sent lightning racing down my spine. Dangerous, he murmured. You're dangerous. Me? You're the one they call the devil of soul. And you're the one who just made me feel human for the first time in 10 years. His thumb traced my jawline. I should fire you. Send you away before this becomes something neither of us can control. Then do it. I can't. The words sounded tortured. God help me, I can't. The door opened. Sungho stepped back instantly. His expression shifted to cold neutrality as Mrs. Song entered with a breakfast tray. Your meal, sir. Would you like it here or in the dining room? Dining room. And Mrs. Song. His gaze flicked to me. Miss Hayes will handle all cleaning duties on the second floor from now on. Including my private office. Mrs. Song's eyebrows rose slightly. Sir, that's usually reserved for senior staff. Are you questioning me? No, sir. Of course not. Good. That's all. Mrs. Song left but not before shooting me a look that promised questions later. My hands trembled as I gripped my cleaning cloth. Sir, you don't have to do that. I'm not having you scrub floors at midnight trying to avoid me. Sungho straightened his cuffs. His mask firmly back in place. Second floor. My office. Every afternoon at 2. Don't be late, Kendra. He left before I could protest. By lunch, the entire staff knew about my promotion. Second floor, Ji-won whispered in the kitchen. That's where Mrs. Beck spends most of her time. And his office, another maid added nervously. Girl, that's dangerous territory. I didn't ask for it. Doesn't matter. Mrs. Beck doesn't like changes. And if she thinks I'm not anything, I cut her off. I'm just doing my job. But my hand still tingled where he'd touched my face. At 2 o'clock, I climbed the stairs to the second floor. The corridor felt different in daylight. Expensive. Intimidating. Sungho's office sat at the end. Double doors carved with dragons. I knocked. Come in. He sat behind a massive desk, paperwork spread before him, a phone pressed to his ear. He gestured for me to enter while continuing his conversation in rapid Korean. Something about shipments and territories and eliminating problems. I busied myself dusting bookshelves, trying to ignore the authority in his voice. The danger. That's all, he said finally, ending the call. Silence filled the room. You came. You ordered me to. I half expected you to quit instead. I turned to face him. I can't afford to quit. My mother needs medical treatment. This job pays for it. Something shifted in his expression. Softened. Your mother is sick. Cancer. Stage 3. She's responding to treatment, but it's expensive. Sungho set down his pen. What kind of cancer? Breast. Why? I know doctors. The best in Seoul. I could arrange. No. The word came out sharper than I intended. Thank you, but no. I don't need charity. It wouldn't be charity. Then what would it be? He stood, rounding the desk with that predatory grace. Insurance. Making sure you don't disappear because you can't afford to stay. My breath caught. Sir. Sung-ho. When we're alone, call me Sung-ho. That's not appropriate. Neither is what I'm feeling right now. He stopped in front of me. Close but not touching. You want honesty? Here it is. I've been married for 8 years. 8 years of sleeping in separate rooms. 8 years of being told I'm useful but unlovable. 8 years of becoming the monster everyone expects. His voice dropped. Then you appeared in my hallway with your cleaning supplies, and your beautiful eyes, and your refusal to pity me. And suddenly I remember what wanting feels like. What hope feels like. My heart hammered. You don't know me. Then let me. My marriage is a business arrangement. Mi Young has made her feelings very clear. Our marriage is a contract. Nothing more. That doesn't make this right. I know. He reached up, tucking that escaped braid behind my ear. But I'm not asking you to fix my marriage, Kendra. I'm asking you to let me be human around you. Just let me see you. Talk to you. Remember what it's like to want to be better instead of just more powerful. I should say no. Should run. One question, I whispered. If I say yes to whatever this is, will you protect me from the consequences? With my life. The conviction in his voice made me believe him. Okay. The next 2 weeks blurred together in the strangest way. Every afternoon at 2, I cleaned Sung-ho's office while he worked. We talked. About everything and nothing. About my childhood in Atlanta. About his brutal training under his father's regime. About books and music and dreams we'd both abandoned. He never touched me inappropriately. But the tension built like a storm waiting to break. You're beautiful when you laugh, he said one afternoon, watching me giggle over a story about my college roommate. Do you know that? My smile faded. Don't. Don't what? Look at me like that. Like I'm something precious. I'm your maid. You're everything. The words hung heavy. And I'm trying so damn hard to be honorable about this, Kendra. But every day it gets harder. Every time you walk into this room, I want to lock the door and keep you here. Safe. Mine. I'm not yours. Not yet. That evening, Mrs. Beck summoned me. I stood in her private sitting room, hands clasped, while Mi Young examined me like I was an insect under glass. You've been spending time with my husband. I clean his office, ma'am. Don't play stupid. The staff talks. He requested you specifically. He watches you. Do you think I'm blind? My pulse raced. Mrs. Beck, I promise nothing inappropriate has. I don't care if you're sleeping with him. Mi Young's cold smile made her beautiful face ugly. Sung-ho has needs. I've always known he'd find outlets. But you? She laughed. A black American maid. How desperate has he become? The casual racism hit like a slap. I'll request a transfer, I said quietly. Different floor. I don't want trouble. Too late. You are trouble. But here's what's going to happen. You'll continue your duties. You'll let him have his little fantasy. And when he gets bored, which he will, you'll disappear quietly. No drama. No demands. No crying to tabloids. Do that and I'll make sure you're compensated. Refuse and I'll have you deported before dawn. My hands clenched. I understand. Good. You're dismissed. I didn't tell Sung-ho about the conversation. What would I say? That his wife gave permission for an affair. That Mi Young saw me as so beneath them both that I didn't even register as a threat. Instead, I tried to pull back. I kept our conversations professional. Avoided eye contact. Built walls. Sung-ho noticed immediately. What happened? He demanded one afternoon, catching my wrist as I tried to leave. You've barely said 10 words all week. Nothing happened. Liar. His grip gentled but didn't release. Talk to me. Sir. Say my name, Kendra. I can't do this. The words burst out. Whatever this is, I can't. You're married. I'm nobody. This ends badly for me no matter what. His jaw tightened. Did Mi Young threaten you? My silence answered. What did she say? Command filled his voice. The devil of soul returning. Tell me. Now. So I told him. Every word. Every casual cruelty. By the end, Sung-ho's expression had gone terrifyingly blank. Stay here, he said quietly. What are you going to do? What I should have done years ago. He left. I heard the shouting from 2 floors down. The entire staff heard it. Sung-ho's voice, cold and final, delivering ultimatums in Korean and English. Mi Young's sharp responses. Breaking glass. Slamming doors. Then silence. Footsteps approached. Sung-ho appeared in the office doorway. His knuckles bloody. His tie loosened. Pack your things. What? Not everything. Just what you need for tonight. I'm moving you to the guest house. As of now, you're under my direct protection. Anyone who threatens you threatens me. Sung-ho, you can't just. I filed for divorce an hour ago. My lawyers are drawing up papers. Mi Young's father will retaliate, which means war is coming. And I will burn this entire organization to ash before I let anyone hurt you. So pack. Now. Please. The please broke me. I crossed the room and took his damaged hands in mine. You're insane. Probably. He pulled me close, resting his forehead against mine. But I'm done pretending I can live without you. I've existed in darkness so long I forgot what light looked like. Then you appeared. And I can't go back, Kendra. I won't. People will die because of this. They were already dying. My world runs on blood. But at least now I'm fighting for something that matters. Someone who matters. His lips brushed my temple. Not quite a kiss. A promise. Give me time. Let me end my marriage properly. Let me make sure you're safe. Then I'll ask you properly if you want this. Want me? No pressure. No threats. Just choice. I closed my eyes. And if I say no, then I'll let you go. But I'll still protect you. Still make sure you're safe. Because that's what you do when you... He stopped. When you what? When you love someone. The world tilted. The guest house sat at the edge of the estate, hidden by cherry trees and high walls. I stood in the marble entryway with my single suitcase, feeling absurdly small in all this luxury. Crystal chandeliers. Silk curtains. Furniture that cost more than my childhood home. This is too much, I whispered. Sung-ho set down my bag, his movements careful despite the blood still staining his knuckles. This is the safest place on the property. My men patrol the perimeter. No one enters without my permission. Your wife. Ex-wife. The papers are filed. Her father knows. By morning, half of Seoul's underworld will know I chose a woman over a strategic alliance. His dark eyes found mine. They'll come for you, Kendra. To punish me. To prove I'm weak. I need you here where I can protect you. My chest tightened. You're really doing this? I already did it. He crossed to me, cupping my face with surprising gentleness. But I meant what I said. You have a choice. Stay in the guest house under my protection as an employee. Or, he swallowed hard. Or stay as something more. When you're ready. If you're ever ready. Sung-ho. Don't answer now. Just let me keep you safe. Please. The vulnerability in his voice undid me. I rose on my toes and pressed a soft kiss to his jaw. Okay. His breath caught. Okay, keep me safe. And maybe. I pulled back to meet his gaze. Maybe teach me about your world. Who you really are beyond the monster everyone fears. Something blazed in his expression. You already see me, Kendra. That's the problem. You see everything I've tried to hide. That night, sleep wouldn't come. I lay in a bed bigger than my old apartment, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. What had I done? I'd become entangled with a mafia boss. A man who'd just declared war on his own organization for me. A man who'd said he loved me. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Sleep well, beautiful. My men are outside if you need anything. SH. Despite everything, I smiled. Another text came through. And Kendra, thank you for not running. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then I typed back. Where would I go? You're the most interesting thing that's ever happened to me. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Dangerous words. You like danger, I replied. I like you. My heart stuttered. This was insane. Reckless. Everything my practical mind screamed against. But my heart whispered something different. Good night, Sung-ho. Sweet dreams, Kendra. Tomorrow begins your education. Morning arrived with a knock on the door. A woman in an elegant suit stood on the threshold, her expression professionally neutral. Miss Hayes, I'm Lee Nari. Mr. Beck's personal assistant. He's asked me to prepare you for the day. Prepare me? You'll be accompanying him to several meetings. You'll need appropriate attire and a briefing on basic protocol. Nari's eyes softened slightly. Don't worry. I'll help you navigate this world. Mr. Beck has never brought someone into his professional life like this. It means something. 2 hours later, I barely recognized myself in the mirror. The designer dress hugged my curves perfectly. Deep emerald that made my brown skin glow. My braids fell in soft waves. Minimal makeup enhanced my natural features rather than hiding them. He's going to lose his mind, Nari murmured approvingly. Come. The car is waiting. Sung-ho stood beside a black Mercedes, talking on his phone in rapid Korean. He looked up as I approached. The phone slipped from his hand. One of his guards caught it smoothly, but Sung-ho didn't notice. His gaze traveled over me slowly, hungrily, before snapping back to my face with visible effort. You're trying to kill me, he said roughly. Heat flooded my cheeks. Nari chose the dress. Nari deserves a raise. He closed the distance between us, his hand settling possessively on my lower back. But we need rules, Kendra. Because looking at you like this makes me want to cancel every meeting, and lock us both in that guest house for a week. What kind of rules? In public, I'm your employer. Professional. Controlled. His thumb traced small circles against my spine. In private, I'm the man who can barely breathe when you're near. Can you handle that? Can you? A dark smile curved his lips. We're about to find out. The first meeting took place in a luxury hotel's private conference room. 6 men in expensive suits sat around a table, their expressions ranging from curious to hostile. I recognized the setup immediately. A power play. They wanted to see Sung-ho's weakness. "Gentlemen," Sung-ho said smoothly, pulling out a chair for me before taking his own seat. "Let's begin." For the next hour, I watched him transform. The gentleman who'd held my face tenderly disappeared. In his place sat the devil of soul. Cold. Calculating. Absolutely lethal. He negotiated territory disputes with surgical precision. Made threats that sounded like polite suggestions. Reminded everyone in the room exactly why he controlled half the city. But every few minutes, his gaze would flick to me. A silent check. "Are you okay? Do you need to leave?" I stayed. Learned. Watched him command respect through sheer force of will. "Your woman is very quiet," one man said in English, his tone mocking. "Does she speak Beck, or is she just decoration?" The temperature in the room dropped. Sung-ho's expression didn't change, but something deadly entered his eyes. "Would you like to repeat that question, Choi?" "I want to make sure I heard correctly before I respond." Choi's smirk faded. "I meant no disrespect. You implied Miss Hayes is an object. Decoration. Would you prefer I treat your wife the same way? Perhaps invite her to my next meeting as, what did you call it? Decoration?" "Beck, I apologize." "Apologize to her, not me." Silence crashed through the room. Choi's face flushed red, but he turned to me. "My apologies, Miss Hayes." I spoke carelessly. "Apology accepted," I said quietly, meeting his gaze steadily. "And for your information, I stay quiet because I'm learning. Not because I have nothing to say." Sung-ho's hand found mine beneath the table. Squeezed once. Pride. That squeeze said pride. We left an hour later, his hand never leaving my lower back as we walked to the car. That was, I started. Terrifying. Brutal. Incredible. I turned to face him. "You destroyed him without raising your voice. He insulted you. If we weren't in a public place, I would have done much worse." Sung-ho's jaw tightened. "In my world, reputation is everything. By bringing you to that meeting, I announced you're under my protection. Anyone who disrespects you disrespects me." Choi was testing boundaries. "And you demolished them. I'll demolish anyone who tries to hurt you." He cupped my face. "Do you understand what you've stepped into? This isn't romance novels or movies. This is real. Dangerous. Men like Choi will try to use you against me. They'll threaten you. Maybe try to take you. Then teach me." I covered his hands with mine. "Teach me how to survive in your world." Something fierce and possessive flashed in his eyes. "You're sure?" "I'm terrified. But I'm sure." He kissed my forehead. "Then let's continue your education." The next stop was his legitimate business. A tech company that served as his public face. The contrast was startling. Here, Sung-ho was the respected CEO. Employees bowed respectfully. Everything gleamed with corporate polish. No hint of the darkness beneath. "You compartmentalize," I observed as we rode the elevator to his top-floor office. "I have to. This company employs 3,000 people. They have families. Mortgages. Dreams. They don't need to know their paychecks come from a man who's ordered executions. Does that bother you?" He considered the question. "It used to. Now it's just what I am. Monster and man. Devil and CEO. Killer and..." He stopped. "And what?" The elevator doors opened. "And someone trying very hard not to fall deeper for a woman who deserves better," he finished quietly. Before I could respond, his secretary appeared. "Sir, your 2 o'clock is waiting." And Mrs. Beck called. Former Mrs. Beck, she corrected quickly. She's demanding to speak with you. Sung-ho's expression hardened. Tell her my lawyers will handle all communication. She said it's urgent. About the divorce terms. Not interested. Sir, she mentioned Miss Hayes specifically. Everything in him went still. What exactly did she say? The secretary glanced at me nervously. That Miss Hayes should be careful. That accidents happen to women who don't know their place. The air turned to ice. Get legal on the phone, Sung-ho said, his voice deadly calm. I want a restraining order filed within the hour. And send security to the main house. If Mi-young goes anywhere near Kendra, I want to know immediately. Yes, sir. He turned to me, his mask slipping to show pure fury beneath. This is why I need you in the guest house. Why I need guards on you. She's not going to accept this quietly. I can handle threats. No. His hands framed my face. You don't understand. Mi-young's father controls the Busan ports. He has connections to organizations that make my people look like children. If he decides you're an acceptable target. His forehead pressed against mine. I can't lose you, Kendra. I've lost too much already. My heart cracked at the desperation in his voice. Then don't. Don't lose me. Teach me. Protect me. But don't push me away because you're scared. I'm terrified. Good. So am I. We'll be terrified together. A rough sound escaped him. Half laugh, half sob. Then his mouth found mine. The kiss was nothing like I'd imagined. Not gentle. Not practiced. It was raw and desperate and tasted like fear and hope and longing all tangled together. His hands slid into my braids. My fingers gripped his suit jacket. The world narrowed to just this. His breath. His heat. His need matching mine. Someone cleared their throat. We broke apart to find Nari standing diplomatically in the doorway. Sir, your meeting. Cancel it. Sir. Cancel everything. Clear my schedule. He didn't look away from me. We're leaving. He drove me to a private beach house an hour outside Seoul. Waves crashed against white sand. The house itself was modern glass and steel. Isolated and beautiful. No guards. No staff. Just us. I bought this place years ago, Sung-ho said, leading me inside. When I needed to remember I was human. Mi-young never came here. No one from my organization knows about it. It's mine. Just mine. Why did you bring me here? He turned to face me, vulnerability written across his features. Because I'm about to ask you something, and I need you to see the real me when you answer. Not the devil of Seoul. Not the CEO. Just me. Baek Sung-ho. The man who hasn't felt anything real in a decade until you. My breath caught. What's the question? Give me a chance. His voice roughened. A real chance. Not as your employer or your protector, but as a man who's falling impossibly in love with you. Let me court you properly. Take you to dinner. Learn everything about you. Prove I'm more than the monster everyone sees. You've already filed for divorce. Started a war. Bought me designer dresses. That's not courting. That's me trying to keep you alive and close. He took my hands. I want to know your favorite movie. What makes you laugh? What you dream about at 3 in the morning. I want to meet your mother when she's well enough. I want to earn you, Kendra. Not buy you or command you or intimidate you into staying. Tears pricked my eyes. You really mean that? Every word. But you need to understand what you're accepting. My life is complicated. Dangerous. I have enemies who will see you as a weakness. I can't promise safety or normalcy or any of the things you deserve. What can you promise? That I'll spend every day trying to be worthy of you. That I'll protect you with everything I have. That I'll never lie to you about who or what I am. His thumb brushed my knuckles. And that if you give me your heart, I'll guard it like the most precious thing I've ever held. Because it will be. I should think. Consider. Be practical. Instead, I kissed him. This time I controlled the pace. Soft and slow. Tasting him. Learning him. His sharp intake of breath. The way his hands tightened on my waist. The sound he made when I bit his lower lip gently. Is that a yes? He murmured against my mouth. That's a yes. We spent the afternoon talking. Curled together on the couch. Ocean sounds filtering through open windows. Sharing stories like normal people. He told me about his childhood. The brutal training. His father's impossible standards. The first time he'd been forced to hurt someone. I was 15, he said quietly. A rival's son. My father said it was necessary. That mercy was weakness. I still see his face sometimes. My hand found his. You were a child forced into an impossible situation. Does that excuse it? No. But it explains it. And the fact that you still think about it, still feel guilt, that means you're not the monster you think you are. He pulled me closer. You see good in me that doesn't exist. I see truth. The good and the bad. The killer and the man who begged his wife for affection. The devil and the person who's terrified of losing me. I tilted my face up. I see you, Sung-ho. All of you. And I'm still here. His kiss tasted like gratitude. Later he made me laugh with stories about his attempts to appear normal. I tried grocery shopping once, he said. Thought it would be humanizing. I lasted 10 minutes before I bought the entire store's inventory of instant noodles because I couldn't decide which brand to choose. You didn't. I did. My staff ate ramen for 3 months. His smile was self-deprecating. Turns out you can't learn to be normal when you've never been allowed to be. Then we'll learn together. I traced patterns on his chest. I'll teach you about normal things. And you teach me about your world. Deal. Best deal I've ever made. Evening arrived too quickly. Sung-ho ordered dinner from a private chef. Korean barbecue that made me moan with pleasure. He watched me eat with undisguised fascination. What? I asked, suddenly self-conscious. You enjoy things fully. No pretense. No hiding. His eyes darkened. It's incredibly attractive. Heat flooded my skin. Stop looking at me like that. Like what? Like you want to devour me. I do. He leaned closer. But I'm trying to be a gentleman. Court you properly. Which means not pushing too fast, even though every instinct I have is screaming to make you mine in every way possible. My breath hitched. What if I don't want you to be a gentleman? His control visibly frayed. Kendra. I'm not saying tonight or even soon. But don't treat me like I'm fragile. I'm not. I'm a woman who knows what she wants. And I want you to stop holding back because you think I can't handle your intensity. Something primal flashed in his eyes. You have no idea what you're asking for. Then show me. He stood abruptly, pacing to the window. His shoulders rigid. Hands clenched. If I touch you the way I want to right now, I won't stop. I'll mark you. Claim you. Ruin you for anyone else. And tomorrow, when reality crashes back, you'll realize you made a mistake with a monster. I rose and crossed to him. My hand slid up his back, feeling tension coiled like a spring. I'm not afraid of your intensity. I'm afraid of you treating me like something breakable when I'm not. I've survived poverty. My mother's illness. Discrimination. Working in a world that tried to make me invisible. I'm stronger than you think. He turned, catching my wrists. This isn't about strength. It's about what I'll become once I have you. The possessiveness. The jealousy. The need to keep you close and safe and mine. I'll be obsessed, Kendra. Unbearably so. I know. I met his dark gaze steadily. And I'm choosing it anyway. Choosing you. All of you. The gentleman and the devil. The man and the monster. His control shattered. The kiss was consuming. His hands tangled in my braids, angling my head for better access as his tongue explored my mouth. I gasped and he swallowed the sound, backing me against the wall with delicious pressure. Last chance, he growled against my lips. Tell me to stop. Don't you dare. What followed was poetry written in touch and taste and breathless need. He lifted me easily, my legs wrapping around his waist as he carried me to the bedroom. The ocean sang through open windows. Moonlight painted everything silver. We learned each other slowly. Every scar. Every sensitive spot. Every sound that meant more or yes or please. His hands worshipped my curves with reverent intensity. My fingers traced the tattoos covering his back. A dragon. Characters I couldn't read. Symbols of his violent world. Beautiful, he murmured against my skin. You're so damn beautiful. So are you, I gasped as his mouth found my throat. Even with your scars. Maybe especially because of them. He pulled back to look at me, something vulnerable flickering in his eyes. No one's ever called me beautiful. Then they were blind. The kiss he gave me then was tender. Almost unbearably so. Like I was something precious he'd been trusted to hold. When we finally came together, it felt like inevitability. Like puzzle pieces clicking into place. He moved with careful intensity, watching my face, learning what made me arch and moan and clutch his shoulders. Mine, he whispered against my ear. Say it, Kendra. Say you're mine. Yours. The word came out breathless. But you're mine too. That's the deal. Deal. His rhythm increased, driving us both higher. Forever. No take-backs. I would have laughed if I could breathe. Instead, I pulled him down for a kiss as pleasure built and finally shattered through us both. Afterward, we lay tangled together, heartbeats slowly returning to normal. Sung-ho held me like I might disappear, his face buried in my braids. Tell me this is real, he murmured. Tell me I didn't dream you. Very real. I traced lazy patterns on his chest. And probably very complicated come morning. Morning can wait. He kissed my temple. For now, let me just hold you. I smiled against his skin. Okay. Thank you, Kendra. For seeing me. For choosing me. For not running when every logical bone in your body probably screamed to. Thank you for being worth the risk. We drifted to sleep like that. Wrapped around each other. Temporarily safe from the world. Reality arrived at dawn. Sung-ho's phone buzzed insistently. He groaned, reaching for it without disturbing me still sleeping against his chest. The message made him go rigid. Urgent. Mi Young's father making moves. Meeting at noon. NR. Another text followed. He knows about the beach house. Every protective instinct roared to life. Sung-ho carefully extracted himself from the bed, tucking blankets around my sleeping form. He texted back. Send security team now. Prepare for war. He'd known this was coming. Known that choosing me over the alliance with Mi Young's family would have consequences. But seeing it spelled out in cold text made his blood run ice. They'd found his sanctuary. The one place he'd thought was safe. Which meant nowhere was safe anymore. I woke to find Sungho dressed, standing at the window with his phone pressed to his ear. The tension in his shoulders told me everything. I don't care what his terms are, he said coldly in Korean. Tell Park Jin-soo that if he wants war, I'll give him war. But if he touches her, I'll burn Busan to the ground. A pause. No. Move her to the safest location. Yes. I'll be there in 2 hours. He ended the call and turned to find me sitting up, blankets clutched to my chest. How bad? I asked quietly. His jaw tightened. Mi Young's father knows about this place. About us. He's calling an emergency council meeting. Essentially putting me on trial for breaking the alliance. What does that mean? It means every family head in Seoul will decide if I'm still useful, or if I've become a liability. He crossed to sit beside me, taking my hands. Kendra, I need to take you somewhere safer. A secure location with my most trusted men. Just until I handle this. Fear clawed at my throat. You're going alone. I have to. This is my world. My consequences. His thumb brushed my knuckles. But I need to know you're protected. Please don't fight me on this. What if something happens to you? It won't. Sungho. It won't, he repeated firmly. Because I'm coming back to you. I didn't find you just to lose you to politics and pride. He pulled me close, his forehead resting against mine. Trust me. Please. I wanted to argue. To demand I stay by his side. But the fear in his eyes, the genuine terror of losing me, made me relent. Okay. But you come back. Promise me. I promise. An hour later, 3 black SUVs arrived. Sungho's security team moved with military precision, surrounding the beach house while Nari briefed him in rapid Korean. I dressed quickly in the clothes they brought. Practical jeans. A sweater. Running shoes. Preparing for what? Running? Fighting. Miss Hayes. A man approached, his expression respectful. I'm Captain Han Woo-jin. I'll be your primary security. Mr. Beck has instructed us to guard you with our lives. That seems excessive. It's not. His tone was gentle but firm. You're the most valuable person in his world right now. Which makes you the biggest target. The words settled like lead in my stomach. Sungho appeared, dressed in a sharp black suit that transformed him back into the devil of Seoul. But when he looked at me, his eyes softened. The safe house is 2 hours north. Mountains. Isolated. My men have secured the perimeter. He cupped my face. I'll call you every hour. And Kendra, if anything feels wrong, anything, you tell Woo-jin immediately. Don't be brave. Don't try to handle it alone. Same goes for you. A ghost of a smile touched his lips. Deal. He kissed me then. Deep and claiming and desperate. A kiss that tasted like goodbye even though he swore he was coming back. I love you, he murmured against my mouth. I know it's too soon. I know it's complicated. But I need you to know that before I walk into that room full of vipers. I love you, Kendra Hayes. My heart cracked wide open. I love you too. So you better come back. Wild horses couldn't keep me away. The safe house was exactly as he'd described. Perched on a mountainside. Surrounded by forest. Security cameras covering every angle. Inside, it was comfortable. Modern furniture. Stocked kitchen. Soft beds. A gilded cage. I spent the first hour pacing. Captain Woo-jin watched from his position by the door, his expression sympathetic. He'll be fine, Miss Hayes. Mr. Beck is the most dangerous man in Seoul. No one dares move against him directly. Then why does this feel like a trap? Because you're smart. He gestured to the couch. Sit. I'll make tea. And I'll tell you exactly what's happening in that meeting. Over tea, Woo Jin explained the hierarchy. Park Jin-soo controlled the ports. Import. Export. Drug routes. Weapon shipments. His alliance with Sung-ho had been crucial for years. The marriage to Mi-young had cemented it. But Mr. Beck has been building his own network, Woo Jin said. Legal businesses. Tech companies. Real estate. He's been preparing to break away from the old families for years. You just accelerated the timeline. So I ruined his plans. No. You gave him a reason to finally execute them. Woo Jin's smile was faint. He's been half dead for years, Miss Hayes. Going through motions. Building power but not knowing why. Then you appeared. And suddenly he remembered what he was fighting for. My throat tightened. What happens if the council votes against him? They won't. But if they do? Woo Jin's expression darkened. Then war. Real war. Bodies in the streets. Territories burning. Everything he's built torn apart. He met my gaze. Which is why you're here. Because if Park Jin-soo can't touch Mr. Beck directly, he'll come for you. And Mr. Beck would burn the world before he let that happen. Sung-ho's first call came exactly 1 hour later. I'm fine, he said immediately. The meeting is still happening. Park Jin-soo is grandstanding. Making speeches about loyalty and tradition. What are you doing? Letting him. Sometimes you win by letting your enemy exhaust themselves. His voice softened. How are you? Is the house acceptable? It's fine. I miss you. I miss you too. More than is probably healthy. A pause. Kendra, I need to tell you something. After this meeting, things will move fast. Either I'll have the council's support, or I'll be declared rogue. Don't. If it's the latter, I have contingency plans. Papers for you. New identity. Money in offshore accounts. Woo Jin will take you somewhere safe. Stop. My voice cracked. You're not dying today. You promised. I'm not planning to. But I need you to know that whatever happens, you're protected. I've made sure of it. Tears burned my eyes. I don't want money or new identities. I want you. Then I'll come back. The conviction in his voice steadied me. I have to go. They're calling us back. I love you. I love you too. Be careful. Always. The line went dead. The second hour crawled by. I tried reading. Watching television. Anything to distract myself from imagining worst-case scenarios. But every creak of the house, every distant sound made me jump. Woo Jin's phone buzzed. His expression shifted. Confusion. Then alarm. He answered in rapid Korean, his tone urgent. What? I demanded. What's happening? He held up a hand, still listening. Then he swore, the first time I'd heard him break composure, and turned to his team. Lock down now. All entrances secured. No one in or out. What's happening? I repeated, fear spiking. Woo Jin faced me, his expression grim. There's been an incident at the meeting. Gunfire. Mr. Beck is alive but the situation is active. We're going dark until the lights cut out. Darkness swallowed the house. Emergency lighting flickered on seconds later. Dim red that cast everything in hellish shadows. Woo Jin already had his weapon drawn, his team moving to defensive positions. Stay behind me, he ordered. And stay quiet. My heart hammered against my ribs. Is this Park Jin-soo? Don't know yet. Could be a diversion. Could be. Glass shattered upstairs. Multiple footsteps. Heavy boots. Voices shouting in Korean. Basement, Woo-jin hissed. Now. He pushed me toward a hidden door I hadn't noticed even as gunfire erupted above them. The sound was deafening. Nothing like movies. All sharp cracks and splintering wood. I stumbled down concrete steps into darkness. Woo-jin right behind me. He slammed a steel door shut and spun multiple locks. Panic room, he explained tersely, hitting switches. Lights hummed to life, revealing a reinforced space with monitors showing camera feeds. We can hold here for hours if needed. My men will handle. On the monitors, I watched his team fall. 1, 2, 3. Professional. Brutal. The attackers moved like military. Coordinated. Efficient. Overwhelming. Woo-jin's face went ashen. No. No, that's not possible. Those are. He grabbed his phone, dialing frantically. No signal. He tried radio. Static. Who are they? I whispered. Professionals. Not Park's usual thugs. This is someone else. Someone with resources. His jaw clenched. Someone who wants Mr. Beck destroyed completely. Above us, footsteps approached the basement door. Come out, Miss Hayes, a voice called down in accented English. We have no desire to harm you. We simply want to talk. Woo-jin positioned himself in front of me, weapon raised. Don't believe them. What do they want? You. As leverage against Mr. Beck. He met my eyes. I'm going to buy you time. There's an escape tunnel. He pressed a remote into my hand. This opens it. Follow it to the forest. Run north. There's a highway 3 kilometers away. Flag down a car. Call this number. He scribbled on my palm with a pen. Tell them code Phoenix. They'll extract you. Woo-jin. Miss Hayes. His smile was sad. Mr. Beck gave me one job. Keep you alive. Let me do it. The basement door buckled under repeated impacts. He shoved me toward the tunnel entrance, already swinging his weapon toward the door. Run. Don't look back. And tell Mr. Beck. He took a breath. Tell him it was an honor. I'll tell him you're a hero, I choked out. Good enough. Now go. I ran. The tunnel was narrow. Dark. Endless. My lungs burned as I sprinted through blackness, one hand trailing the wall, the remote clutched in the other. Behind me, muffled gunfire. Shouting. Then horrible silence. Tears streamed down my face, but I didn't stop. The tunnel ended in a locked grate. I fumbled with the remote, pressing buttons until something clicked. The grate swung open to reveal forest. Dark trees. Cold air. Freedom. I climbed out and ran. Branches tore at my clothes. Roots tried to trip me. But I ran north. Always north, like Woo-jin said. My phone was back at the house. No way to call Sung-ho. No way to know if he was alive or dead. If those gunshots at the meeting had found him. If I'd never see him again. No. I couldn't think like that. He'd promised to come back. And Sung-ho kept his promises. I just had to survive long enough to see him again. The highway appeared like salvation. I burst from the tree line, gasping, my clothes torn and dirty. A few cars passed, ignoring my desperate waving. Finally, a truck slowed. An older Korean man peering out suspiciously. Please, I gasped in broken Korean I'd picked up. Please help. Danger. Need phone. His expression shifted to concern. He gestured for me to get in. I did, hands shaking as I recited the number Woo Jin had given me. The driver handed me his phone. It rang once. Verification code, a woman's voice answered in English. Code Phoenix. This is Kendra Hayes. I need extraction. The safe house was compromised. Woo Jin. My voice broke. Woo Jin might be dead. A pause. Location. I asked the driver, who responded. The woman on the phone confirmed. Stay in public. We're sending a team. 20 minutes. Don't trust anyone else. The line died. I thanked the driver, who'd pulled into a rest stop. I stumbled into the fluorescent-lit building, collapsing into a booth near the window where I could watch the parking lot. Where I could see if anyone came for me. Where I could fall apart without witnesses. Sung-ho's phone finally had signal. He stood in the aftermath of the meeting. 3 bodies. His suit splattered with blood that wasn't his. Surrounded by his most loyal men. The vote had gone his way. Barely. But then Park Jin-soo had tried to end the debate with bullets. Stupid. Desperate. Fatal. Now Park lay dead on the conference room floor, and Sung-ho was consolidating power faster than planned. But none of it mattered when he saw the missed calls. 7 from Woo Jin. Then nothing. His blood turned to ice. He dialed. No answer. Tried again. Nothing. Sir. Nari approached carefully. What's wrong? Get me transport now. And a tactical team. His voice was deadly calm. Someone went after Kendra. The room went silent. Find out who, Sung-ho continued, his fury barely contained. I want names. Affiliations. Everyone involved. And then I want them erased. Not arrested. Not negotiated with. Erased. Sir, we should. Now, Nari. He looked up and she took a step back at what she saw in his eyes. Because if anything has happened to her, I will turn this entire city into a graveyard. Starting with anyone who gets in my way. The extraction team arrived in 18 minutes. 4 operatives in civilian clothes, moving with military precision. The woman who'd answered the phone, Agent Kim, approached my booth. Miss Hayes, are you injured? No. But Woo Jin, the safe house. They had professionals. Military. It wasn't supposed to be possible. We know. Mr. Beck has been informed. He's en route. Kim's expression softened minutely. You did well. Woo Jin would be proud. Is he? We don't know yet. A recovery team is heading to the safe house now. She gestured to the exit. We need to move you again. Somewhere even Mr. Beck's enemies can't find. Where? His personal residence. The one no one knows about. Not even his organization. Kim's slight smile was approving. He's kept it secret for years. You'll be the first person he's ever brought there. The drive took an hour. We wound through Seoul's outskirts to an unassuming neighborhood. Middle class. Quiet. Normal. The building was a modest apartment complex. Nothing that screamed wealth or power. Kim led me to the top floor. The apartment inside was simple but comfortable. Books everywhere. A kitchen that showed use. Photographs of places, not people. A home. Not a showpiece. This is where he comes to be human, Kim explained. Wait here. He'll come as soon as he can. Then she and her team left, posting guards in the hallway but giving me space. Alone, I finally let myself break. I sank to the floor and sobbed. For Wu Jin's sacrifice. For the terror of running through darkness. For the horrifying possibility that Sung-ho might not come back. I cried until I had nothing left. I woke to gentle hands lifting me. I've got you, Sung-ho's voice murmured. I've got you, beautiful. You're safe. My eyes flew open. He was there. Alive. Solid. Real. Blood on his suit, but not his skin. His expression devastated as he cradled me against his chest. Wu Jin, I whispered. His jaw tightened. Alive. Barely. In surgery. He killed 4 of them before they subdued him. Pride and grief warred in his voice. He's going to make it. And when he wakes up, I'm promoting him, and giving him enough money to retire if he wants. Who did this? Park Jin-soo's brother. Park Jin-ho. He didn't trust his brother to handle the meeting, so he sent a team after you as insurance. Sung-ho's arms tightened around me. He underestimated Wu Jin. And he severely underestimated how far I'd go to protect you. Where is he now? Dead. His entire operation dismantled. His allies given a choice. Swear loyalty to me or die. His dark eyes met mine. I told you, Kendra. I would burn this city down before I let anyone take you from me. I meant it. I should be horrified. Should fear the monster in his voice. Instead, I kissed him. He responded instantly. Desperately. Like a drowning man finding air. His hands tangled in my braids. My fingers gripped his bloody jacket. The kiss tasted like relief and fury, and love too big to contain. Don't ever scare me like that again, he growled against my mouth. Then don't leave me behind next time. We face danger together or not at all. Kendra. I mean it, Sung-ho. I know your world is dangerous. I accept that. But don't lock me away like something fragile. Let me stand beside you. He pulled back, studying my face. Whatever he saw there made his expression soften. You're remarkable. You know that? Most people would run screaming. Most people aren't in love with you. No, they're not. He kissed my forehead. Okay. We face things together. But you follow my lead on security. Deal? Deal. That night, we didn't make love. We just held each other. Sung-ho curled around me like a shield. My head on his chest. His heartbeat steady beneath my ear. Processing. Healing. Surviving. Tell me something good, I whispered. Something from before all this darkness. He was quiet for a moment. When I was 8, before my father's training got brutal, my mother took me to the ocean. Just us. We built sandcastles and laughed, and she let me be a normal child for one perfect day. His voice roughened. She died 6 months later. But I remember that day like it was yesterday. The sound of her laugh. The way the sun felt. The taste of the ice cream she bought me. My throat tightened. She sounds wonderful. She was. She would have loved you. Your strength. Your refusal to be intimidated. Your beautiful heart. He kissed my hair. What about you? Tell me a good memory. Christmas when I was 10. Mama worked 3 jobs, but she still managed to get me this ridiculous doll I'd wanted. I found the receipt later. She'd been making payments on it for months. I didn't understand sacrifice then. But now. I smiled against his chest. Now I understand. She gave me everything she could. Love in action, not just words. That's what I want to give you. Love in action. His arms tightened. Safety. Protection. A life where you don't have to be scared. I'm not scared. Not when I'm with you. You should be. I'm dangerous, Kendra. I've done terrible things. I know. And I love you anyway. I tilted my face up. All of you. The darkness and the light. The devil and the man who build sandcastles in his memories. His kiss was achingly tender. Stay with me, he whispered. Not just tonight. Always. Move in here. Let me wake up to you every morning. Let me come home to you every night. Let me build a life with you. Is that a proposal? Not yet. When I propose, it'll be perfect. Romantic. Everything you deserve. His smile was soft in the darkness. But this is me asking you to take the first step toward forever. My answer was simple. Yes. 3 months later, I stood in Sung-ho's legitimate office. The tech company that served as his public face. I wore a tailored suit. My braids styled professionally. A tablet in my hands. Around me, executives waited nervously for the CEO's arrival. Miss Hayes, one of them ventured. Is it true you'll be heading the new community outreach division? It is, I smiled. Mr. Beck believes the company should give back to Seoul's underserved communities. I'll be managing those initiatives. It was a cover, of course. A legitimate role that explained my constant presence at his side. But it was also real. Sung-ho had given me a substantial budget and full authority to make actual change. Teaching me to be more than a monster, he'd said when presenting the idea. Show me how to build instead of destroy. The door opened. Sung-ho entered and the room's energy shifted. He commanded space effortlessly. Dressed in charcoal gray. His expression controlled. Every inch the powerful CEO. But when his gaze found mine, warmth flickered in those dark eyes. Good morning, he said smoothly. Let's begin. The meeting lasted 2 hours. I watched him work. Negotiating contracts. Making decisions worth millions. Commanding respect through sheer competence. This was the legitimate side of his empire. And he was brilliant at it. Afterward, once the executives filed out, he crossed to where I stood by the windows. You're staring, I murmured. I'm admiring. There's a difference. His hand settled on my lower back. A possessive touch hidden from cameras but unmistakable to me. How was your morning? Productive. I met with 3 community centers about the scholarship program. They're all interested. Pride lit his expression. You're changing my world, Kendra. Making it better just by existing in it. We're changing it together. His phone buzzed. He glanced at it and his expression shifted. Something dangerous entering his eyes. What's wrong? Mi Young. He showed me the message. We need to talk about the divorce settlement. And about your pet. My jaw tightened. Let me guess. She wants more money. Probably. She's been bleeding me dry for months, trying to salvage her reputation after I left her. His thumb traced circles on my spine. I'll handle it. Let me come with you. Kendra. Together. Remember? We face things together. He studied my face, then nodded slowly. Okay. But if she says anything that crosses the line, we leave immediately. I won't have her poisoning you with her venom. We met Mi Young at an upscale cafe. She sat at a corner table, immaculate in designer clothes, her expression cold. When she saw me beside Sung-ho, her lips curved into something cruel. How domestic, she said in English. The devil and his pet. Careful, Sung-ho said softly. Dangerously. I'm trying to be civil. Don't make me regret it. Mi Young waved a dismissive hand. Relax. I'm not here to cause drama. I'm here to negotiate. My lawyers say you've given me generous terms. Very generous. I want the Gangnam property. The one your mother left you. Everything in Sungho went still. No. Then I'll drag this divorce out for years. Make your life and hers miserable with legal battles and public scandals. My hand found his beneath the table, squeezing gently. He took a breath, visibly restraining himself. Why, he asked. Why that property specifically? Because it matters to you. Because your mother gave it to you. Because taking it will hurt. Mi Young's smile was razor sharp. You destroyed my family's alliance. Humiliated me publicly. Chose a black maid over me. Did you think there wouldn't be consequences? The consequences were your father and uncle dying when they tried to kill Kendra. His voice was ice. Be grateful I stopped there. Grateful? Mi Young laughed. You've made me a laughingstock. The woman the devil of soul divorced for. Her gaze raked over me with contempt. For that. I felt Sungho tense, fury radiating off him. But I spoke first. You're right. He chose me. A black American maid with no connections, no money, no power. Want to know why? I leaned forward. Because I see him as human. Not a weapon. Not a status symbol. Not something to use and discard. I love him. All of him. And that terrifies you because in 8 years you never even tried. Mi Young's composure cracked. You have no idea what you're talking about. I know he begged you for basic affection and you laughed at him. I know you treated a good man like garbage because you were too cold to see what you had. My voice was steady. Strong. So no. You can't have his mother's property. You can't have anything else from him. Sign the papers. Take your generous settlement and move on. Because he already has. Silence crashed through the cafe. Mi Young stared at me, shock and rage warring in her expression. Then she looked at Sungho, who watched me with undisguised awe. You really do love her, Mi Young said quietly. Almost sadly. More than I knew it was possible to love anyone, he confirmed. Something shifted in Mi Young's face. The cruelty faded, leaving exhaustion behind. I never wanted to be cruel. My father arranged our marriage. Told me emotions were weakness. That I should use you, not love you. She looked away. Maybe I was the monster in our marriage, not you. We were both trapped, Sungho said, his voice gentler. But we're free now. Both of us. So take the settlement. Build a new life. Find someone who actually wants to be with you. Not someone assigned by family politics. Mi Young nodded slowly. Okay. I'll sign. She met his gaze. But Sungho, be happy. Actually be happy. It'll be the best revenge against everyone who tried to make us miserable. I intend to. We left the cafe hand in hand. That was, Sungho started. Intense. Terrifying. Weirdly satisfying. I was going to say magnificent. The way you stood up to her. He pulled me into an alley, pressing me against the brick wall with a kiss that stole my breath. You're incredible. Fierce and strong and mine. Yours, I confirmed against his mouth. And you're mine. Don't forget it. Never. His phone buzzed again. He groaned but checked it. It's Woo Jin. He's out of physical therapy. Wants to meet us for dinner. I brightened. Really? I've been so worried. He's recovered fully. Thanks to your prayers and my best doctors. Sungho smiled. And he's bringing a date. Apparently his nurse decided he was worth keeping. Love in the trauma ward. How romantic. Says the woman who fell for her Mafia boss employer while cleaning his office. I laughed. Fair point. Dinner was at a small Korean barbecue restaurant. Woo-jin looked healthy, the scars from the attack still visible but fading. Beside him sat a pretty woman named Dr. Lee Min-ji, who clearly adored him. Miss Hayes. Woo-jin stood to bow. Thank you for coming. Just Kendra, please. We're friends. You saved my life. And you gave Mr. Beck a reason to save mine. His smile was warm. He paid for the best surgeons. The best care. I owe you both everything. You owe us nothing, Sung-ho said firmly. You did your job with honor. The debt is mine. We ate and talked and laughed. For people building new lives from the ashes of trauma. Min-ji told stories about Woo-jin being a terrible patient. Woo-jin countered with tales of her terrible singing while changing his bandages. It was normal. Human. Beautiful. Later, walking back to the car, I leaned against Sung-ho's shoulder. This, I said softly. This is what I want. Not just the romance and passion but this. Building a life. Making friends. Creating something good. Then that's what we'll have. He kissed the top of my head. I'm learning how, thanks to you. 6 months after that, Sung-ho took me back to the beach house. It had been renovated after the attack. New security. New memories waiting to be made. We arrived at sunset, the ocean painting everything gold. Close your eyes, he instructed as we walked along the beach. Why? Because I'm nervous and you staring at me with those beautiful eyes isn't helping. I laughed but obeyed, letting him guide my steps. Sen shifted beneath my feet. Waves sang their eternal song. Okay. Open. I opened my eyes and gasped. The beach was covered in candles. Dozens of them, protected from the wind by glass containers. They formed a path leading to where Sung-ho stood, holding a small velvet box. Kendra Hayes, he said, his voice rough with emotion. You walked into my life when I'd given up on feeling anything real. You saw through the monster to the man underneath. You stood beside me through danger and darkness. You taught me that love isn't weakness. It's the only thing that makes any of this worth fighting for. He dropped to one knee. I know I'm not easy. I come with a complicated world and a dangerous life. But I promise to spend every day trying to be worthy of you. To protect you. To cherish you. To build the life you deserve. He opened the box, revealing a ring. A stunning emerald surrounded by diamonds. Marry me. Please. Let me be your husband. Your partner. Your home. Tears streamed down my face. Yes. Yes, of course, yes. He slid the ring onto my finger and stood, pulling me into a kiss that tasted like ocean salt and happy tears and forever. I love you, I whispered against his lips. I love you more. Not possible. We'll spend 50 years arguing about it. I laughed. Deal. We married 3 months later. The ceremony was small. Just close friends and the family that mattered. Woo-jin and Min-ji attended, now engaged themselves. Nari served as witness, crying through the entire ceremony. My mother flew in from Atlanta, her cancer in remission thanks to the treatments Sung-ho had arranged. Thank you, Mama told him quietly. For saving my daughter. For loving her the way she deserves. Thank you for raising a woman strong enough to save me, he replied. The ceremony took place at sunset on our beach. I wore a dress that made me look like a queen. Ivory silk that hugged my curves. My braids crowned with flowers. Sung-ho couldn't stop staring. When the officiant asked if he took me as his wife, his voice rang clear. Absolutely. Forever. No take-backs. Laughter rippled through the small gathering. My vows made him cry. You taught me that love isn't about perfection. It's about seeing someone's darkness and choosing to bring light. You're my light, Sung-ho. My home. My heart. I choose you today and always. We kissed as husband and wife while the ocean applauded with waves and our friends cheered. The reception was perfect. Dancing under fairy lights. Food that celebrated both our cultures. Toasts that ranged from heartfelt to hilarious. Woo Jin gave a speech about how love could bloom anywhere. Even in trauma wards and dangerous safe houses. To the devil and his angel, he concluded, raising his glass. May they prove that even the darkest souls can find redemption through love. Later, as I danced with my new husband, I felt complete. What are you thinking? Sung-ho murmured. That I'm glad I overheard you that night. Glad I didn't run. Glad I chose to love a monster who turned out to be the best man I've ever known. I'm the lucky one, Kendra. You could have had anyone. I wanted you. Just you. Forever you. His arms tightened around me. Forever me. 1 year later, I stood in our bedroom, the apartment that had become our true home. I studied the positive pregnancy test in my hands, joy and terror warring in my chest. We'd talked about children. Planned for them. But seeing it confirmed made everything real. The door opened. Sung-ho entered, still in his suit from work, exhaustion lining his face. Then he saw my expression. What's wrong? I held up the test. He stared. Blinked. Stared again. Is that, we're having a baby? The transformation was instantaneous. Exhaustion vanished, replaced by pure wonder. He crossed the room in 3 strides and dropped to his knees in front of me, pressing his face against my still flat stomach. Hello, he whispered to my belly. I'm your father and I'm terrified. I don't know how to be a good dad. My own father was terrible at it. But I promise to try. I promise to love you completely. To protect you. To be better than what I came from. My hands tangled in his hair, tears falling freely. You're going to be an amazing father. He looked up, his eyes wet. You think so? I know so. Because you chose to be better. You chose love over darkness. You chose to build instead of destroy. I pulled him up, kissing him softly. Our child will be so lucky to have you. To have us, he corrected. We're in this together. Always. Always. The pregnancy was monitored carefully. Sung-ho hired the best doctors, the best nutritionists, the best everything. He reduced his work commitments, delegating more to trusted lieutenants. His entire world narrowed to me, and the life growing inside me. You're being overprotective, I told him one afternoon, laughing as he insisted I sit down after standing for 5 minutes. I'm being appropriately protective. There's a difference. Sung-ho, I'm pregnant, not made of glass. You're carrying the most precious thing in my world. I'm allowed to be careful. His hand settled on my growing belly. Do you know what this is? This baby is proof that something good can come from my life. That I'm not just a monster who destroys. That I can create. Build. Love. My heart melted. You're going to make me cry again. Pregnancy hormones. Husband being perfect hormones. He kissed me, slow and sweet. I love you. Both of you. We love you too. 7 months into the pregnancy, complications arose. I woke in the night, pain tearing through my abdomen. Sung-ho rushed me to the hospital, his face a mask of controlled terror as doctors examined me. Preeclampsia, the lead doctor explained. We need to deliver now. It's early but waiting risks both mother and baby. Do it, Sung-ho said immediately. Save them. Both of them. I don't care what it costs. Sir, we'll do everything possible, but you need to prepare yourself. No. His voice was steel. They're both going to be fine. They have to be because I can't. His control cracked. Please save my family. The surgery lasted 3 hours. Sung-ho paced the waiting room like a caged animal. Woo Jin and Nari keeping vigil with him. He'd faced down enemies. Survived assassination attempts. Built an empire from blood and violence. But nothing had ever terrified him like this. Finally, a doctor emerged. Mr. Beck. He spun around. Are they? Your wife is stable. Exhausted but recovering well. And my daughter? The doctor smiled. Small but healthy. 5 pounds, 2 ounces. She's in the NICU as a precaution, but all her vitals are strong. Sung-ho's knees buckled. Woo Jin caught him. A daughter? His voice broke. I have a daughter. You do. Congratulations. I woke to find Sung-ho holding a tiny bundle. He sat in the chair beside my bed, still in blood-stained clothes from the emergency, tears streaming down his face as he stared at our daughter. Sung-ho, I whispered. His head snapped up. You're awake. Thank God you're awake. The doctor said you'd be fine, but I couldn't stop thinking. He took a shaking breath. I almost lost you. Both of you. But you didn't. We're here. We're okay. I held out my arms. Let me see her. He stood carefully, placing our daughter in my arms with reverent gentleness. I looked down at the tiny face. Perfect brown skin. A dusting of dark hair. Eyes closed in peaceful sleep. She's beautiful. She's everything. Sung-ho sat on the edge of the bed, his arm around my shoulders. I've been sitting here for an hour just staring. Trying to memorize every detail. Promising her I'll be the father she deserves. What should we name her? We discussed names for months but never decided. Hannah, Sung-ho said softly. It means one. Our number one. Our first. Our everything. Hannah Hayes Beck. I tested it. It's perfect. She's perfect. You're perfect. This whole impossible beautiful life is perfect. He kissed my temple. Thank you for choosing me. For loving me. For giving me this. I don't deserve any of it. Yes, you do. You fought for it. Earned it. Changed for it. I leaned into him. You're a good man, Sung-ho. Not despite your past, but because you chose to rise above it. Little Hannah made a small sound, and we both went still. Her eyes opened, dark like her father's, curious and alert. She looked at us and I swore something like recognition flickered there. Hello, beautiful girl, Sung-ho whispered. Welcome to the world. We've been waiting for you. 3 years later, our home filled with laughter. Hannah ran through the apartment, all wild curls and endless energy, chattering in a mix of English and Korean. Sung-ho chased her, making monster noises that sent her into peals of giggles. I'm going to get you. No. Run away. I watched from the kitchen, my hand resting on my pregnant belly. Our second child, a boy this time, due in 4 months. Woo Jin and Minji visited often, now with their own son. The children played while the adults talked about normal things. School choices. Pediatricians. The challenges of raising toddlers. Sung-ho had semi-retired from his darker business, keeping only legitimate operations. He'd handed control of the underground empire to trusted lieutenants, choosing family over power. I spent 30 years building an empire, he told me. Now I want to spend the rest of my life building something better. A family. A home. A legacy that isn't written in blood. And he had. That evening, after Hannah fell asleep, Sung-ho and I sat on our balcony. The Seoul skyline glittered before us. A city that had witnessed our love story from its bloody beginning to this peaceful present. Do you ever regret it? Sung-ho asked quietly. Choosing this life. Me? I turned to him, my expression tender. Never. Not once. Even when it was hard. Even when I was scared. You were worth every risk. I love you. More than I have words to express. Show me then. I smiled. You have 50 more years to prove it. Remember? 50 years minimum. He pulled me close, his hand settling on my belly where our son grew. I'm thinking maybe 60, 70 if you'll have me that long. Forever, Sung-ho. I'll have you forever. Promise. Promise. We kissed as the city lights sparkled. As our daughter slept peacefully inside. As our son kicked gently against his father's hand. A mafia boss who'd learned to love. A maid who'd seen past the monster. A love story written against impossible odds. And a family built from ashes, proving that even the darkest souls could find redemption. That even devils could become devoted husbands and fathers. That love, real love, could conquer everything. If you loved Kendra and Sung-ho's story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Afro-Soul Legends. We have so many more incredible tales of unexpected love, second chances, and finding light in the darkest places. Drop a comment and let us know what you thought. And if you want another amazing story, check out our video on the playlist. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. See you in the next story.